Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Amanda Manier. I'm a veteran advocate here at the Veterans Law Group, and I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about something that is very near and dear to my heart. And those are veterans who are dealing with what we call MST cases, military sexual trauma cases. Essentially, what that is, if you're in the military and familiar with that, or a veteran, you may be familiar with that statement. If you're listening to this and you're not familiar with what that phrase is, all it really means is that it was somebody who served in the military who was subjected to some sort of sexual assault. They call it military sexual trauma, or MST. So when you get out of the service and you're in the process of filing a claim for disability, the VA treats MST cases when you file a claim for that as PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And it follows the same process as far as how it's rated, which we plenty of videos on that you can go through, how it's rated. But what I want to talk about is some of the nuances with MST cases and some of the difficulty and the hurdles that you have to get through in order to prove that not only it happened, that the VA will acknowledge it so that you can get compensated for it. One of the biggest hurdles is that most assaults are not reported while in service. And that can be for a number of reasons. It could be that it was a commanding officer that assaulted the individual. It could be fear of retribution. It could be a retaliation. It could be just not wanting to address it. There's all kinds of reasons that people don't report it. MSTs are much more known in the sense of we're more aware of it than we were in the past. So I'm still dealing with cases that are MST cases that occurred in the 70s and the 80s. So it hasn't been, no matter how long it's been, it doesn't mean it's been too long to address it. One of the key factors they look at is if you did not report it, what can you do? Often we'll go back to the personnel record of the veteran to determine whether or not there was some sort of change in behavior. So that could be that they were getting very high performance evaluations, and after the sexual assault happened, their behavior changed in some way. So maybe they started getting lower evaluations. Oftentimes we'll see a veteran will maybe go AWOL for a few days, become hospitalized. Over a period of time, a significant reduction in weight, change in behavior, even to their family, can be evidence to help support that. And you'll hear, you're familiar with the VA community, you'll hear them refer to them as markers. It's whether or not the veteran has markers in their personnel record or in their service treatment records to indicate some sort of showing that this assault may have happened. We've been able to prove cases when there was a STD that showed up to be able to show that it occurred. In addition to that, one of the things I want to make sure everyone understands is that an MST case is not solely based upon a military person being assaulted by a military person. It just means that you had a sexual assault during the time that you were in service. It could have been by a civilian or somebody else. And also I want to emphasize this happens to both men and women. I represent a lot of men who have been victims of military sexual trauma. I handle most of the cases here at the VA that are VLG that are MST cases. And as I mentioned at the beginning, it's something near and dear to my heart. I feel for you. If you're struggling with that, if you want to talk to somebody who knows what you're dealing with and has worked a lot of these cases, please feel free to reach out. Again, my name is Amanda Manier. My information should be along the bottom.